Hello everyone, MVG Salem here, and this is the Character Potential series. Here we will be going over a character's meta, their strengths, weaknesses, and potential. Today's character is Luigi. Let's get started. Luigi's general game plan is pretty funny at 0%. Usually he just tries to grab you. But the thing about that is, like, he can just kill you from that. Luigi's actually supposed to hit you just a tiny bit, at least like 5%. He needs to do at least 5% for his grab death combo to be consistent. Like, grabbing someone at literally 0% makes the combo extremely hard. So like a simple fireball or like 1-2 jab or just a jab or like a quick pummel will help the combo tremendously. If the Luigi messes up the combo, they can still do a ton of damage on you anyway. So even though if you're outside of the 0% death combo range, what can happen is they can try grabbing you like, let's say 20%, and they can still try and end combo you and do about 60 damage from their throw combo. So let's say you get grabbed at 20, maybe the Luigi does like down throw up air strings, and then they finish with like a back air. That's gonna be like 60 damage, about 60 damage. So now you're at like 80% from that 20% you were at. So it hurts a ton. Luigi's strengths is that he has a bunch of safe on shield moves. The safest attacks are like broken and can combo into themselves. For example, landing nair. His nair is like -2 if you like do it perfectly on landing, so that's safe against like everyone's shield. And then it's just like you have down tilt, that's -2. You have Luigi's Zair, which is his plunger, that's also -2. So he has like a bunch of safe on shield moves that you have to worry about. He kinda has range, which is funny, but it's mostly with like grab and his Zair. He's kind of ambiguous, but as well, the funny part is he can also somewhat land if he's getting juggled, because when he's in the air, if you press down B while in the air, it's a frame 1 invincible move, which means at any point in time when you're trying to land with Luigi, you can just press that and beat any attack. Which means Luigi can as well land anytime he wants to. It's a 50-50 on both sides. He's also very good at 2-framing because his down tilt. You can just actually just straight up mash it, to be honest. Like, you don't have to care, because it stays out for quite a lot of frames. I think about 3 frames, 5 through 8 or so. So it's just like, you can just mash down tilt near the ledge and like probably get a 2-frame. He has a range grab, which can basically double as like a sword, if you will. Like, it can be double as a ranged move, even though it seems like he has no range. But again, like I said, Luigi has Zair, he has grab. He also has fireballs. And at a set distance, if Luigi shoots a fireball at you, you can't just jump out the way of Luigi or like trying to like avoid his grab, because like, let's say you try and do that, sometimes it's guaranteed depending on when the fireball hits you. Like how far away the fireball hits you. And as well, it depends on your character's jump height. So he can still like snatch your legs at the last second. If a fireball were to approach you and you were to shoot and try and jump out of shield, he can still dash grab at you and grab that. But that's character dependent. That doesn't always happen. Luigi's weaknesses are a little weird, because like the only things he really has a weakness on is him trying to land and him trying to recover. A lot of the time you can just wait, because most Luigi players are impatient and they rather just down B all the time and just be like, get off me. A lot of the time they just air dodge. But the thing about Luigi's air dodge is that, like, because Luigi's airspeed sucks, even if you fast fall air dodge, it's not very good compared to some other characters' fast fall air dodge. So if you do that, people can kind of see it and react and just hit you. Off stage wise, when Luigi's trying to recover, his recovery it sucks and it can be extremely random, but it's not the worst. I kind of think of it like somewhat like Space Animals recovery. except instead of like an invincible like side B, you get like a slow side B that you can also do a super jump with. Like for example, if you do a double jump and side B at the same time, and if you charge it, you can float all the way up and then fly forward. But besides that, it's very easy to intercept that, and a lot of the time Luigi has to go extremely low just to not explode from getting hit. And now for Luigi's stages. Now, Luigi technically only has a real problem on stages like, let's say, Battlefield, and as well like kind of PS2, but not exactly. Every other stage is fine. Because like, let's say you want to go to town, well, eventually the platforms go away, and it turns to FD. That's crazy. That's crazy if you think about it, because that means they're screwed. They can't do nothing. It's time to just wild out and just try and grab. And then the other stage is like, your FD is probably gonna be banned. That's no problem. That's whatever. That's whatever. There's also Yoshi's, another stage where Luigi can just like 2-frame people. Stages that are a weakness they're generally just stages with like platforms, like Battlefield. Kind of Yoshi's, but not exactly. Like, generally it's just stages with like a bunch of platforms, because it's like Luigi has to wait because they're gonna camp Luigi and sit on that platform and be like, okay, until you hit me out of this percent, I'm not doing anything. Which is just like, it's a lot of matchups that's just gonna end up like that a lot of the time. Or it's just they could be far away and there's a platform and you're just gonna have to deal with that. But it's just like, it's not too much of a problem. It's just you're gonna have to wait longer than usual, and most people aren't patient. And Luigi players like to often just like run in after he become impatient and be like, you know what, screw this, I'm just going in, I don't care anymore. So that happens and then they lose. So that's just like, that's mostly a player problem. But since I see like every Luigi do it, I'm just like, okay, I guess that's part of the character, because you get that mindset when you play this character. It happens every single time. A lot of people say Luigi has a problem with like swords or characters that camp and they're just throw projectiles. I don't personally think so. Because the thing is, Luigi has potential to do many things, because he has sudden range, like I said, where he has Zair, he has like a grab, he has a fireball that he can just throw out, things like that, as well as super safe on shield moves. I don't think they're a problem, because like a lot of time they do generic run up in your space into like nair or something like that usually. Like most sword characters just want to nair into you, or like forward air into you. And that stuff is like, it's easily parryable. Those types of things, normally you should be prepared to parry most of the time, because like it's just the usual. And Luigi has like extremely fast like attacks, so if you practice a lot in those matchups, for example, let's say you're fighting like a Roy, he's gonna run in and nair into you. You can just parry that up be out of shield him, and he's probably just gonna explode. The projectiles generally aren't a problem. Like usually characters that have projectiles, it's just look into their patterns enough times, and it's just like, the matchups become like fighting a boss. Like, because it's just like, oh, the boss is gonna do this, they're gonna charge up this move, they're gonna throw this move at this set amount of time, they're gonna try and jump over me or something, get to the other side of the stage, or they're gonna try and grab the ledge. They're gonna do this specific sequence every single time. The bad matches, in my opinion, are characters that are just like, they do enough 50-50s where for Luigi it's a problem to try and do an option. Like let's say he wants to grab Snake, for example, and he threw a grenade at you, but it's just like, okay, if you grab Snake, you can try and down throw. The grenade's gonna fly at you. It hits you. You try and do your combo. Up, you got blown up. Reset. Like the situation straight just gets reset. Things like that happen. But that's just that character. The other characters could be just like characters that can just semi-fly. Like let's say, for example, like Bayonetta. Characters that can just leave and just be like, oh, I'm gonna hit your shield, I'm gonna fly away, I'm gonna go over here. Like Bayonetta, for example, like I said, could just do an ABK and just be like, ABK, I'm still in the air, I'm over here, what are you gonna do about that? Oh, I'm on the ledge, and now I'm gonna jump again. Like characters that just straight up spam jumping and cross-ups and things you literally can't do anything about. That's a problem. That's a problem for Luigi because it's just like, oh, how do you grab them and how do you combo them? That's the thing. 'Cause Luigi kind of needs combos to like be significant. Otherwise, it's better to just play any other character. For offline, Luigi kind of doesn't do too much. Like, you don't even really see Luigi too often. Now, his online results. Luigi does a little bit better online, in my opinion. Like, especially since a lot of time, for example, I see Jason fighting like a Luigi, I'm just like, oh no, this is gonna be a problem. So, Luigi has a little bit of results better there-wise, but online, Luigi's tons better. Offline, not as much. Even though it's pretty funny because it's like you'd expect like offline reacting with a grab or like doing combos would be better offline, but online, a lot of the time people forget if you practice combos long enough, even online, that doesn't matter, which means you can just Wi-Fi them to death. And now we're here to character potential. Luigi has literal god tier moves. His down tilt's -2, his nair can be -2, his zair can be -2. Like, Luigi has a bunch of 2 frames. He's a solo ice climber that can 0 to death to you. He can randomly land if he wants to because he has a frame 1 down B. I'm just like, I'm reminded of Bayonetta in Smash 4, except if she couldn't recover for free. That's what I'm thinking. And even then, Luigi also has like crazy stuff like edge guarding stuff. Like for example, he could down B and just screw up your recovery. Like you can go straight up flying off stage, or he could just down B and make you fly right off stage, depending on what type of move you do, and you can just SD things like that. That's actually crazy to think about. The other part that's funny is that the Luigis forgot about parrying. They don't parry as much as they used to, or rather, they don't power shield as much as they used to since Smash 4. Like, that's something, in my opinion, that they should be practicing on all the time, because if you parry almost anything in this game as Luigi, you can just blow them up for free. And also, it makes it so grabbing is way much easier on a lot of characters, especially sword characters. Luigi could be basic and just be try and be a grabbing Luigi, but practice some things like, let's say, platform combos. Like if you're on a platform, they just combo you and then just grab you, or like do a death combo on you for being on a platform. Luigi could just be like, okay, let me just scare them with these things, look at their defensive options, and wait for just one option that you do that you do all the time, consistently. Like, Luigi could look for that one habit you have and kill you for it. Luigi can do that, but people don't want to play Luigi like that. They're too busy trying to be like, oh, my death combo didn't work. Let me do a different combo. Let me just try and fight them. Let me just dash attack. Let me just run up, jab. Let me just throw fireballs. Like, they don't think about all their options that are like actually crazy, because like, if Luigi was like smart, instead of jabbing, they would just run up and down to your shield. So Luigi's potential is insane if you think about it. Like, it's insane. And now, where do I think Luigi should be on the tier list? On most people's tier list, Luigi is generally around mid-tier, sometimes high tier, but like, you don't often see that. But like, a lot of the time, I think Luigi's like top 5, top 4, top 3, sometimes top 2. Like, if I want to have an opinion that doesn't make everyone mad, I'd at least have him top 10. Just like naturally top 10. Because all the things he has, when you actually practice everything, it's just like, he's a top 10 character for free. It doesn't matter what anyone says. A character that can kill you, a character that can decide to 50-50 you for trying to mess with him in the air. That stuff is kind of crazy. Like, he could literally, Luigi has just Smash 4 Bayonetta tier things, and people are just like, nah, that's not that good, because I threw him off stage once and killed him. Okay, he can just grab you and kill you. He can just hit you with an aerial and kill you. He got things like that. So it doesn't matter if you shield, it doesn't matter if you're in the air, it doesn't matter if you're on a platform. If the Luigis were to practice these things, you're screwed. So that's why, in my opinion, I think Luigi is at the least top 10. Thank you for watching my character potential video on Luigi. If you like this content, subscribe and hit the bell and leave a comment with your thoughts. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in the description below. See you guys later.